Decided to make a video because books are piling up here in the as you know from my other videos that I take my books down in the lower level. We have an open basement. There's a door goes out to the backyard. There's windows. That's where I keep most of our books, our library. And I don't like keeping up here in the living room, and try to keep things not so cluttered up here. So I want to get rid of these books and put them down there tonight. Today is the last day of November 2016. It's the 30th. It is 7:53 at night, and time flow. I'm always since I been keeping a diary since I was 18 years old, since about 1968. I'm always aware of morning. I'm always aware of afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, nighttime. I'm always aware of time because I'm always writing down time in my diary. Like when, like this morning, I wrote. For example, it says here, I start November, it's the 30th. I was on page 970 this morning. It is 7:18 a.m. Wednesday morning. And then I have down here, it is 7:50 a.m. And then I have at the bottom of the page, it is 8:27 a.m. On page 971, it is 8:32 a.m. It is 8:46 a.m. It is 12:23 p.m. And then I left the house. I left the house this morning, and I visited thrift stores, and I was home by 12:38. And then on page 972, it is 12:38 p.m. It is 1:22 p.m. It is now 1:30 p.m. It is 2:08 p.m. And then I ended the diary for today. It is 2:16 p.m. It is getting that time of day that I close down and wait for nightfall. So I'm always aware of time. I'm aware of, so that's why I do this in my booktube videos, because I see my booktube videos as an extension of my diary. And what my booktube is the life of a bookworm. I am a bookworm. I am a book lover. I've loved books since I can remember. And of course, as the older I got, especially in my late teenage years, I got more and more into books, because I think I've mentioned in my previous videos that I didn't really become self-conscious, aware of my own self until I was around 16 or 17 years old. Even then, I was still pretty much a prisoner to my ego. I was, my flesh controlled me, my lust, and but I was aware of it. I could stand back and see this part of me that was controlling me, my lust, my desires, and as the years have gone by, well, I've been married 37 years, and so I've been faithful to one woman. I believe in marriage. I don't believe in divorce. I don't believe that. I think marriage is eternal. That's an eternal covenant. And so, and also, if you love someone dearly, you are always faithful. That's how it is with your relationship with God, with the Lord Jesus Christ. It's a marriage relationship. It's a covenant relationship, and you love Him, and you seek to be faithful to Him, and not bow down to idols, and set your affection on things that are not Him. Set your affections on the world, or that you seek to live in a life that will maintain that relationship with Christ. So anyway, I'm just rambling here. So today is the last day of November. It's the 30th. It is 7:57 at night. This morning when I got up, I read my Reformation commentary on Scripture, Romans 9 through 16. I'm still on chapter 9. I'm reading through verses 6 through 29, which is on election and reprobation, the doctrine of predestination, decretal theology, and things like that. And then this afternoon, I read this book I got in the mail yesterday, Bear, The Life and Times of Augustus Owsley Stanley III by Robert Greenfield. And then I was reading early this evening, The Transcendentalist by Barbara L. Packer. So those are things I read today when I wasn't writing in my diary, or visiting thrift stores, or watching the birds, or cooking dinner, or I spent a lot of time on the internet looking at videos and booktube and news and listening to music. And today, this afternoon, I watched a documentary on the group Morphine. Those who are not aware, Morphine was headed by the lead singer and bassist Mark Sandman. And when they were on concert, I think it was back in the late 90s, they were in Italy, and he died on stage of a massive heart attack. And this was a thing that put out of his music. And I was really into Morphine. I think they put out the CD Good. The Night, I think, was around the last of their records. I think this is the one that was recorded before he died, Mark Sandman. Cure for Pain, Yes, and Like Swimming. I really like the music of Morphine. Morpheus, dreaming, goes back to the Greek word. And so I got my Morphine out to listen to tonight. So I really like Morphine. They're no longer, I think this, let me see, the last one, this came out in 2004, The Music of Sandman. They put this out after he died. I think they've probably done an anthology or a retrospect, but I don't have that. As I said, I think The Night was the last one that came out in 2000. So anyway, that's Morphine. If you like, you can check it out on the internet or YouTube. I really like their documentary. I watched that today. I also got a used book in the mail today by D.C. Boyle, The Harder They Come, a novel. I'm trying to complete my collection of D.C. Boyle. He has, this one came out in 2015. He has a new one out he has a new novel out. I think there's one even after this one, San Miguel, something like that. But I'm trying to complete my collection of D.C. Boyle. I have to get back into reading him. I got that in the mail. I bought it used. You can tell the thing is kind of ripped, the cover. As I said, I went to thrift stores. Today I found this biography by Willard, Sterne, Randall. I have his biography on Hamilton. I have his on, I forgot to bring it up here. He wrote a biography on Hamilton, if it's mentioned here. Anyway, this is his biography on Thomas Jefferson, A Life. I got that today. And then I bought this book today at a thrift store, The Decision to Use the Atomic Bomb, The Architect of American Myth by Gar Alperovitz. I got that. I collect books on the Cold War, the atomic bomb, the use of the atomic bomb, Hiroshima, all the things going around that decision to drop the atomic bomb, to make the atomic bomb, the hydrogen bomb. And I picked up this book. This is called The Final Days by Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. This is the final days of Nixon's presidency. This covers Watergate and up to his him resigning before he was impeached. He decided to resign. Several months ago, I really got into Watergate, and I read a lot on Watergate again. Watergate is part of my youth, so I got that. And I picked up a novel by John Updike called The Villages. And then I picked up this book, Blood Struggle, The Rise of the Modern Indian Nations by Charles Wilkinson. Right now, the American Indian movement is really in the news about that pipeline up in the Dakotas, going across sacred lands by the Indians, and I found this today. I found this novel, yesterday I went to thrift stores. I found this unusual novel. It's by Tristan Egolf, Lord of the Barnyard, Killing the Fatted Calf, Arming the Aware, and the Cornbelt. It's kind of an off-the-wall kind of novel, but I got that. And I found a novel by Christopher Isherwood. I have several of his works in our library. This is Prater, Violet. This is a novel that came out first I think it came out first in the Victorian period. I think it came out, I can't remember when it first came out. Anyway, this is called The Odd Woman, George Gissing. This deals with, it says here, George Gissing's The Odd Woman dramatizes many key issues relating to class and gender in late Victorian culture. The changing relationship between the sexes, the social impact of odd or redundant women, the cultural impact of the new woman, and the opportunities for and conditions of employment in the expanding sector of the economy. At the heart of these issues, as many late Victorians saw them, was a problem of the imbalance in the ratio of men to women in the population, etc. So I got that. And I collect Roald Dahl, The Witches. This is a children's book. This is Jeanette Wall's Half-Broken Horses. She wrote The Glass Castle, which I have in my library. This is The Half-Broken Horses, a true life novel by Jeanette Walls. And I found a memoir by Linda Ronstadt, the singer, called Simple Dreams, a musical memoir. This is by the South American writer who was born in Peru. I have many of his works. I didn't have this one. This is The Notebook of Don Rigoberto by Marco Vargas Llosa. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, I'm butchering that. It's edited by Edith Grossman. And I found this historical novel, Gob's Grief by Adrian. It says here, Gob's Grief recounts the lives of Gob and Tomo Woodhull, fictional twin sons of the real Victoria Woodhull, the 19th century proto-feminist. In August of 1863, Tomo, who was 11 years old, runs off to the Civil War and dies in his first battle. Gob grows up in a profound state of grief, and by the time he's an adult, studying to be a doctor in New York City, he has begun to make real a dream to build a machine that might bring Tomo, indeed, all the war dead back to life. It sounds kind of interesting. So I got those at thrift stores. Put these downstairs tonight. Find room for them. So that's what I got at thrift stores. Like I said, I was reading this today, The Bear, The Life and Times of Augustus Owsley Stanley III by Robert Greenfield. Reading The Transcendentalists. Got the novel D.C. Boyle, The Harder They Come, a novel. It says here about D.C. Boyle, The Harder They Come. Set in contemporary Northern California, Harder They Come explores the volatile connections between three damaged people: an aging ex-Marine, a Vietnam veteran, his psychologically unstable son, and the son's paranoid, much older lover as they careen towards an explosive confrontation. On a cruise to South America, 70-year-old Steen Stinson unflinchingly kills an armed robber menacing a busful load of tourists. The reluctant hero is relieved to return home to Fort Bragg, California, only to find that his delusional son Adam has spiraled out of control. Adam has become involved with Sarah, a hardened member of a right-wing anarchist group that refuses to acknowledge the laws of the state. Adam's senior by some 15 years, she becomes his protector. As Adam's mental state fractures, he becomes increasingly disillusional until a schizophrenic breakdown leads him to shoot two people. On the run, he takes to the woods, spurring the biggest manhunt in California history. So it goes on. I like D.C. Boyle. I went through a period where I was reading almost all his novels, one after another. And then when I stopped working and I got into all kinds of books. And so I have to get back into reading D.C. Boyle, but he's one of my favorite writers. So that's what's going on here. I'm going to listen to some Morphine tonight. I'm going to read some more on Bear. I'm going to read my books on Thoreau and the Transcendentalist movement. Tomorrow is a Thursday, the first day of December 2016. We haven't had any snow yet, which I'm thankful for. Usually it snows here in Michigan before the 1st of December. But anyway, I'm hoping you're having a good week. Thank you for the new subscribers and for the comments and the questions. Until next time, bye.